Hey everyone, Magic Sword here. So last time we ran a little long. We're gonna try to fix that this time. I actually have everything scripted out, so hopefully we'll keep it shorter this time. Let's start right away. Playmaker, 3 mana, 4/3 warrior card. After you play a rush minion, summon a copy with 1 health remaining. Holy crap! Lots of synergies here, right? It counts as 1 health remaining. That means it's injured for battle rage, for example. Um, Commanding shout, it can't drop below 1 health, right? So you just run them all in, they stay alive, right? I was initially comparing this to Fell Lord Betrug, except it comes out earlier and is generally probably more useful. um, but even that, those die at the end of the turn is not necessarily, right? So I think this is going to be an auto include in basically any warrior deck that utilizes a suitable number of rush minions, and in fact, it might recreate the Rush Warrior archetype. I think this is possibly one of the most powerful cards we've seen yet. And that's in part due to another card that is revealed later. So if you think I am totally off base, just wait until we see that one. Okay. Archwitch Willow. 9 mana, 7/7, so already kind of but summon a random minion from your deck and from your hand. That's a battle cry, right? Not a death rattle, nothing like that. It's a battle cry. So, cool. Big Demon isn't standard, or it's not in standard right now. It is in wild, and this would probably be included in that wild deck. As for making it a thing in standard, I don't know if this alone is enough. I think you need something cheaper that cheats out demons, something like Voidlord, something like Skull of the Minari, right? I think that really this just is not enough by itself, unfortunately. But I do like the design space it occupies. So, whatever. Well, next one. This is kind of underwhelming. But next we have Flinger, which, while not underwhelming, is also not particularly good. It is just a strictly better Elven Archer because it's Elven Archer with more upside. It definitely looks fun. I don't think it's that strong. I'm looking forward to the OTK decks people come up with it. You know, just constantly bouncing it back, either by minions even, or preferably with damage spells like Sinister Strike, right? But we'll see. People will get creative. Okay, next up we have Dr. Krastinov, and this is the card I was talking about when I mentioned Playmaker earlier. So you can see the obvious synergy here, right? Every time it's a 5 mana 4/4 with Rush. Whenever this attacks, give your weapon +1/+1. This is a rogue warrior dual class legendary. I think this feels like more of a warrior card than a rogue card, and I think it fits better in warrior decks that currently exist. After the Corsair Cash nerf, we saw how much warrior really needs that bonus attack, so any source of that really helps. And rogue doesn't have any really great weapons that could benefit much from this. So I think unless we see one, this is strictly going to see play in warrior, if at all. Which, again, given the power level of Playmaker, I think they're trying to make a rush warrior archetype here. Right. So that does it for that one. Next, we have Star Student Stelina, which, try saying that 10 times fast, but she's a 4 mana 4/3 with no base effect, but outcast. Look at 3 cards in your opponent's hand, shuffle one of them into their deck. Alright, so people have been talking about, Demon Hunter is the disruption, it's the anti-combo class now. You know, it used to be Warlock, with the whole, like, cut your deck in half, or Gnome Feratu, delete the top card, right? I think that while that is correct, that Demon Hunter with its silences and with its hand manipulation with this and glide is going to be marked as the disruption class, I think we also have a strong case for this being an anti-control card, because let's say you drop this on 5, you're playing against mage, you just shuffle their Blizzard into their deck. Alright, so now your board of 2 health minions is going to survive because you got rid of their one answer that they had for you, because it's a Highlander mage, right? Just stuff like that. Being able to shuffle away your opponent's board clears to maintain your board is going to be critical. The only issue is that it's a 4 mana 4/3. You probably don't want to have it in your opening hand, and it's only good with its outcast effect. So, I would say I don't have a great read on this card's overall power level, but I think it might be a little too weak. That said, I feel like generally Blizzard overestimates how difficult it is to get an outcast effect to go off, and therefore outcast cards are generally way too strong. So maybe this means that they are trying to dial it back a little bit, and they're kind of getting better with accurately judging where outcast belongs in terms of keyword power levels, right? This feels more in line with what my gut says here, right? But maybe my gut's wrong. Okay, we have another Demon Hunter card, Magehunter, which I love the idea of. This is more disruption. It's a silence, right? If you're attacking anything with 3 or more attack, this is basically an Iron Beak Owl. I'm just going to put that one out there. That said, if you recall last video, which I would highly recommend you watch, we have Ace Hunter. What is his name? Kreen? Ace Hunter Kreen, right? This is incredible synergy with that. You play those on the same turn. That's 6 mana. You have this rush in, silence whatever, and it doesn't die because it's immune while it's attacking, right? That said, I don't know if I see this in current Demon Hunter, how the current Demon Hunter operates. It's, I'm kind of unimpressed. In most cases, I feel like if you really needed the silence that badly, you'd... most decks didn't run more than 2 silences, right? Unless it was back in Q blocks and Catacombs, right? You didn't really do that. So Demon Hunter already has a great silence card, and it can draw a card, and it's 1 mana. So it cycles itself for 1 mana, and it gets the desired effect off. I think that this is comparatively weaker in most scenarios, especially because taunts exist. Now, generally, you're going to just want to silence the taunt anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter, but I feel like this gets outcompeted in most cases by that spell. But I kind of hope I'm wrong, because I really think this is a cool effect on this card. So then, Lorekeeper Polkelt, 4 mana 4/5, Battlecry, reorder your deck from highest cost to lowest cost. This is so cool. Have I mentioned that I just love this expansion? Like, everything that keeps happening. Everything about it. This reordering effect, awesome. The dual class, awesome. The studies, which we've seen before with, like, Haunting Visions, for example, but still great. I love what they're doing here. I love all these new mechanics they're introducing. There are some new mechanics where I'm kind of, like, lukewarm towards them. Everything that this expansion has done, I have loved. So then, combo time? Is it combo time now? Can Standard have combos again? Like, maybe a little as a treat? Like, I don't personally like combo decks. The only combo deck I play is Quest Mage, which just makes me a dumpster fire of a person. So, let's, one of the big synergies I've seen people talking about is with the Rogue Galakron, which is so funny. Because, you just play this. Oh, all my high-cost stuff is down. Let me draw it up. Now it all costs 1. And then you Malagos your opponent to death. I've also seen it with, like, Malagos, and then you shuffle the Malagos, then you draw all the Malagese, right? So it has that extra step in there. The issue is, if you watch RegisKilbin's video, he was the guy he's such a great... You should check him out. If you watch his reveal video, he says that any reshuffle effect screws this ordering. It shuffles your whole deck, just like you would if you... in a real card game, right? Do we know anyone like that? Do we know any, like, cool reshuffle effects that might otherwise, disrupt this? So, as if Demon Hunter needed more tools to specifically screw over combo, other than just killing them in 5 turns, they've given them these huge disruption. That is my opinion, but also just, like, kind of parroting everything that people have been saying on Twitter and basically anywhere people are talking about Hearthstone right now. That is not a hot take. It's been less than a day, and it is already room temp at best. So, I don't know. I think that these are just such powerful combo things that they're thinking that they need to add equally powerful disruption tools. Well, Whatever. Anyway, next card, Sphere of Sapience. Neutral weapon, neutral weapon, neutral weapon. Have I mentioned that I love this? I love this. So, more combo time? More combo time, methinks. That's how I read this. If you play Magic the Gathering, you'll recognize this as the Scry effect. I don't play Magic, I just read that on Twitter. So, my first thought was neutral weapon, Malfurion breaks the twig on 5 and gets 10 mana. He just ramps immediately. It's a 1 mana. You could like coin it. You could coin it on 4 and you'd have 10 mana because this is a 1 mana weapon. And then you get the drawing effect to dig up your combo pieces or your tutoring Psych Melon sooner, and then you win. Or your Geppetto Joy Buzz, right? And then you win. It's that straightforward. You just win on 5 in Combo Druid now. This is going to be as bad as Barnes was in Wild. I didn't play back then, but that's why I didn't play Wild back then, right? Like every time I like looked at Wild, it was just stupid stuff like that happening, and now they've enabled it again. And it's beautiful, and I love it. And this might be able to stand up to Quest Mage. So, we'll see. On a standard note, this is likely to find a place in any non-weapon wielding Highlander deck. So, probably not in Hunter, because Hunter really values its weapons in this deck, and obviously if you have this weapon equipped, you would just break it if you try to put it on another weapon. So that's not good. But these Highlander decks are always trying to dig for their one solution to the problem, right? They have their one board clear that's exactly the right thing for what they need right now, and this effectively lets you get a second draw if your first one isn't what you want, right? I'm honestly just very excited to see a neutral weapon. That's I think that's my biggest point about this. But so real quick, talking about Scry, a lot of people come from Magic and play Hearthstone, and vice versa. I know people who've started with Hearthstone because it's pretty casual and then gotten into Magic, which is a little more hardcore by its nature because you have to spend money on it, right? So people are like, this is twice as effective in Hearthstone because you have half the deck size, and that's an intuitive answer, but the fact of the matter is there are fewer dead draws in Hearthstone also. So, when you have a 30 card deck and you don't have like lands taking up half of it, it kind of balances out. Scry is, from what I understand, is still a powerful effect in Magic. So it would probably be equally powerful, but it's not like twice as effective as people might have you believe, because basically there are just a constructed deck doesn't have that many dead cards in most scenarios, right? I think most of the time you're pretty happy with whatever you draw, and if you're not, you should probably rework the deck, right? Anyway, got a little bit of a tangent there. This was supposed to be quick. Last one, I promise. Vectus. 5 mana, 4/4, Battlecry, summon 2 1/1 whelps. Each gains a deathrattle from your minions that died this game. Alright. This is Twilight's Call, if you remember that 3 mana pre-spell with the same effect, except it wasn't necessarily whelps. It summoned 1/1 copies. So, the one trick you could do with Twilight's Call that you can't do with this is if you silenced it, it would just be a full-sized body. So if you had like a 10/10 Deathrattle guy and you just silence the 1/1 clone, it's now a 10/10. That said, this is a 3 mana spell effect on a 4/4 body. You get a free Millhouse Mana Storm with this spell. Wrap your mind around that one. So as for practical application of this fancy Millhouse, you get Rogue. Rogue seems to have a lot of stealth and Deathrattle synergy coming up. That's my prediction, because they seem to kind of be pushing it a little bit. I'm thinking, think about Lillian, right? And more generally, historically, Rogue has been a good Deathrattle class, right? So more good Deathrattle support, which I think is likely, would be big, and we could see Deathrattle Rogue take a foothold in the meta. And Hunter, if it ever gets big, Deathrattle support again will likely use this. I couldn't really think of other classes that would really want it. It might be good in Priest again at some point. But the thing about Big Priest is that I don't know. It could be some sort of big priest somewhere down the line. I don't think right now. And yeah, that's it really. That's all the cards for today. Kind of glad I waited until later today because Vectus came out at like 10. Anyway, like and subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps me out. Make sure you tell me what you think about all these cards, these absolute garbage, these dumpster cards that we are getting. These, and I mean that in the best way. I mean that in like, holy crap, what is this? What is happening here? Why are you letting Warrior buff up its anchor again? You just took it away from them. Why are you letting them keep doing it? Please no. Check out my Twitch and Twitter. That's in the description as well. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the follows. It makes me feel good about myself. I tie my self-worth to my success on social media. And I hope you're looking forward to the rest of these releases. And make sure you have a good day.